Welcome to Tris Arena in Henderson, Auckland, New Zealand. You've joined us just as Australia and Tahiti make their way onto court, and everything to play for in terms of the bragging rights for the position of group winners. Australia, of course, heavily favoured to advance in top spot, awaiting them a semi-final with either Malaysia or Solomon Islands, or possibly even New Zealand. We must make that point. Still much to be determined in the other section as we pause for the Australian national anthem. So team news for you regards the Tahitian goalkeeping situation. Tevare Kaiha, an outfield player, will start in goal for Tahiti. That is because Teva Duro, the regular goalkeeper, is injured. He has suspected ankle damage, and Apira Tauira has had to have his thumb stitched after taking an injury in the opening match of the tournament. So Tahiti coming into this game with very much on the back foot. As we take a look at the Australian side, it's just brimming with talent. Toby Sito, of course, is the pick of those, but you could take a look at players like Wade Giovanali and Mark Symington, who are just a number of many in that lineup. For Tahiti, well, Teva Duro is on that board, and he's not included, of course, because of injury. Tevare Kaiha is in goals. Antoine Tave could be called upon. Alexis Tufa, and of course the captain Martana Bea, who you see there starting in the middle of the Tahitian five with Maihuri, Tutavai and Tave. It's Fogarty, Sito, Lockhart, Symington and Angelo Constantinu in goal for Australia. Your match officials for this game: Campbell Kirkward of New Zealand, Francois Cucurulo, his compatriot, and Philip Mana from the Solomon Islands, and the timekeeper is Jainuddin of Fiji. Campbell Kirkward is also a football referee and aspiring to make inroads into a FIFA career. I'm Gordon Glenn Watson. I'll be describing the action for you this afternoon, along with the expert comments, as ever, of my good pal Paul Tui. Paul, welcome.
Yeah, thanks Gordon, and good afternoon everyone. This is another interesting game. The two heavyweights of this group really. Australia have shown great form throughout the last week. This will be their sixth game in 7 days. Earlier on playing in the Trans-Tasman Cup, and Tahiti with big aspirations to qualify for the 2016 World Cup, FIFA Futsal World Cup in Colombia. And despite the setback with the goalkeepers, they're going to be tough opponents for this Australian side.
Well, Tahiti do have a habit, well, maybe disrespectful to describe it as a habit, but they do approach these games with a tactical discipline that sees them sitting deep in their own territory, looking to break on the counter-attack. They'll have to provide Tevari Kaiha with plenty of protection to that end, and perhaps their way of playing, their style and approach, this could well be something that they're very good at in the context of the fixture and their injury crisis.
With that tight diamond shape too, Gordon, look for Australia to get into the corners high up in Tahiti's side of the court.
Toby Sito trying to lay it off to Fogarty. New player is Jacob Tutavai, number 5. Just been flown in to provide some depth to the squad, and there's already a good level of intensity about this game in the opening 30 seconds or so. Fulton. Sito looking for a better day today on a personal level. They've got buffeted and shunted around the court by physicality of Vanuatu side yesterday. Something that really did challenge the interpretation of the rules, I have to admit.
36 minutes on court yesterday for Sito, Gordon. It's a mammoth amount of time.
Here he is here. Certainly got his passing range clicking early on. They are a wonderful team to watch, Australia. Fitzaroos dominating. Symington trying to line up a shot, plays Fogarty, now Sito. Tahiti sitting deep, keeping their shape.
They'll be happy to do this for most of the game. This is what they relish. They don't mind the other team having the ball.
Sito. Symington. Tanabea just marshalling his defence. Australia rotating in and out. Fogarty. Real cut and thrust, a real tactical cut and thrust.
Yep, one for the purists, no doubt about it.
Populating their defensive D. And they're all white kit with red numbers. Switch of play to Fogarty. Might like to take on the new man Tutavai. Can't get past him. What a game to come into, Jacob Tutavai. Phone call or an email to say, pack your bags. We need you.
Maybe a tweet.
Maybe even a tweet these days. And you're in New Zealand facing Australia. Not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination.
Good so far though from Tahiti. Well organised, that zonal defence.
Well, if Australia were to suffer an upset defeat here, that would mean that Malaysia more than likely would face Tahiti in the semi-finals, and the Australians would face either New Zealand or the Solomon Islands. Australia patient, trying to crack open this blanket defence from Tahiti.
Everything happening on that far side as well, Gordon. As Fulton goes down. Fulton didn't see much game time yesterday, just came on in the last 5 minutes. And a heavy challenge.
Yes, Antoine Tave, the guilty party for Tahiti. Martin Bear has rotated off court. Space work for Symington. And a foul spotted. Tahiti will have to show us what they can do with the ball now.
Job for Tino, number 12.
To go long, faking to go long, switches play to Alexis Tufa. Tino. Tave. He does go long. Oh, that's not a bad ball. That's a very good ball, in fact. Tave might get a shot. Nice block from Sito. Tahiti burst into life. The Futsaroos, it's their turn to defend. And the pressure's off. The ball from Jacob Tutavai. Not a good one. 4 minutes gone. There's a shot from Sito, wide of the target. It's a sight that Tevari Kaiha, the goalkeeper, won't want to see too often today. Here's Tino. Tries to turn Sito. Fogarty, counter-attack for Australia. Kokoki. Tufa. Nice play by Kavera. There's a shot from Kavera. Easy one for Constantino. The game just starting to unshackle itself.
Tahiti back into position already.
Australia have already had a good side of an Oceania side that really had a lot of self-belief and gave it a good go in the shape of Vanuatu yesterday. So we'll see how much they've learned from that experience. They've got an even tougher nut to crack here, I would say, arguably, in terms of experience and discipline.
And look, even now, Gordon, with the ball on the other side of the court, Tahiti back on what we call line 3 when you defend. The Spanish style, line 1 is high up the court, line 2 halfway, and line 3 very deep.
As conservative as it looks, it also carries an element of high risk, would you say, paradoxically, because you're so much closer to your own goal. All it takes is one toe poke. And
that's right, and that's the importance of maintaining your concentration, and you tend to see, if the other side is prepared to shoot, you'll see a lot of blocks, and I'll be keen to have a look at the statistics later.
Sito's shot is Alexis Tufa back defending.
But yeah, certainly an interesting one for the small crowd that's built up here. Just they won't have seen this before, I don't think. We've seen some very open attacking games. Teams looking to press high. Vanuatu showed that in the last game against New Zealand Invitation. New Zealand Invitation sat at sort of line 2 around halfway, but Tahiti here just sitting deep.
Oh, off the post. Symington was on the scene.
Yeah, great strike by Fogarty. And that,
Deflection off the post.
Yeah.
It's just moving too quick as we take a look at the shot from Fogarty in the replay. It beat Kaiha all ends up, and the rebound Symington could do little with.
and exactly what you were talking about, Gordon, just that the risk that's involved with sitting deep. If there's an opening, Australia will look to exploit that.
Paul, if Australia do score first, does that make this tactic, does it render it bust, so to speak?
Well, that's a good question, and I mean, much like football, when a side looks to defend and counter-attack, I don't think so, based on what we saw against Vanuatu. They were pretty keen to stick to the routine, I guess you could call it, and have faith in their patience, but they will need to counter-attack well, and they didn't really do that so well in the last two games. How
tempted will Stephen might be to perhaps break with his own approach and push Constantino further forward.
Well, I think, yeah, he may be thinking at some point of Sito going in as the fifth man, the flying goalkeeper. They need to get guys into the corners either side, left and right. But he wouldn't want to do it just yet. They've got so much possession as it stands. I don't think he'll be too worried at the moment.
Pretty much with the set play. Minutes and 52 seconds, counting down. So we're nearly midway through the first half as Matanabea takes a long-range shot, more in hope than expectation, I would say.
Scott Gilligan, as we've said, has had a big influence on this Tahiti side, but I think what we're seeing now is Tapu Hunter has really stamped his mark as well. He's a very thoughtful coach, thinks long and hard about how he can get this side to the next level, if you like. We saw signs of it in the last OFC champs in Suva, and you can see clearly they've built on that deep defensive block.
Matanabea gets position back to Australian skipper Sito. Symington drifting into the D. Tave the company. Here's a shot from Adam Cooper, and he hits the photographer's camera. Behind the goal, Bea. Tave. Eddie Alkaya, who didn't feature yesterday, is on court. Just drifting in behind the Tahitian goal. And something for Bea to consider. Sito with a left foot shot straight against Michel Maihuri.
It's one of those blocks. We'll see plenty of those today.
Sito, Symington almost stealing in front of Antoine Tave. Cooper. Sito. Shows and then spins away. Now at the top of the D, up Kaya. Kaya looking to just drift into the blind spot of Matanabea before making runs across to the D. Trying to shift the defence around. Cooper takes a shot. It's blocked by Haria.
They are doing a good job. Always scanning left and right, looking. Good awareness from the Tahitians.
An interesting one as well for me. If Tahiti are going to play a sole player high as a pivot for the distribution from the goalkeeper, you almost don't want him to go too deep if he's not going to get it, and it's just going to be a foot race back to defend.
Yep.
So I think the initial impression for anybody observing this game, Tahiti's approach is conservative or perhaps in any way negative. It carries a lot of risk as well.
It does, but it's something they've spent hours and hours honing. But for Tahiti, they haven't faced a side of this level for a long time. Probably Solomon's 2 years ago. So yeah, it's a learning process for them too. It's going to be difficult to maintain over 40 minutes.
What can Australia show us from this set play? Cooper and Sito standing closest to the ball for the green and gold. Symington off to the left of the goal frame as we face play.
A new keeper in the mix as well, Gordon.
Kaya just in behind the right of the goal frame. Cooper's shot. That might have taken a deflection on its way through. No. There's a throw from Kai Hart. Cooper's header. Here's another look, and Cooper just fired it high over the top of the crossbar. Matanabea. Past Cooper. Tino. Tave. Tino. player. Carvera's made a run deep. Tahiti don't want to treat the ball like a hot potato when they do have it. It is an opportunity for them to take their rest almost from levels of concentration that they're pouring out in their defensive shape. Just over 10 minutes gone, halfway through the first half. Australia 0, Tahiti 0.
Yeah, from what we've seen, Gordon, they aren't going to want to go a goal down. It's difficult to see what they can offer on attack at the moment.
As long as parity remains in place for the Tahitians, hope springs eternal. If Australia were to find a way through and force Tahiti to come out and play at some point, and we saw what happened to Vanuatu yesterday. They held Australia. There's Sillington's shot, good save by Tavati Kaiha, the stand-in goalkeeper.
This will be interesting with Wade Giovanali and Zeballos coming in, two very talented players. I really like this quartet that's on court now, especially with Cooper and Sito.
Oh, and it's just kept away. Giovanali still going. Carvera. Tino. Well played by Tufa. Carvera, that's a very interesting ball. Constantino did just enough. Plenty of encouragement for Tahiti then. That was a wonderful pass by Carvera. Stephen Knight barking orders at courtside.
Knight will be loving the challenge of this.
Sito. Adam Cooper. Zeballos. Giovanali's got a wonderful presence of mind when he's in the D. There's a box of tricks, always one step ahead of the goalkeeper. He's being very tightly marked by Michel Moihuri. Excuse me. And Chris Zeballos is fouled, and the foul count is going to be something that Tahiti will be mindful of too, Paul.
That's right. They'll have to be careful, maintain their discipline. 8 minutes left on the clock. And another dangerous set piece from centre court here, which Sito will line up.
That might have been for a foul against Alexis Tufa. Koki is on court. Antoine Tave. So another set piece for Tahiti to defend. Another opportunity for the Futsaroos to break the deadlock. Watch for Wade Giovanali here. Sito. Giovanali, oh, it's so close for Australia.
Yeah, you picked it well there, Gordon. It was difficult to see whether it was going to be Cooper or Zeballos, but nice little ball into Giovanali, and the keeper does just enough.
It was such a precision pass, and it just broke the wall in two. Koki was forced to break off and try and deal with it. That's a good ball. Koki now on attack against Sito. Tufa, that's well off target.
Yeah, and Australia equally good at their transition back into defence. They got back quickly, and as a result, Tahiti with a long-range shot nowhere near the target.
Chris Zeballos. Tufa's taken a whack in the face. Accidental one, I'm pretty sure. Sito. Zeballos looking to take on Tufa. Adam Cooper brought in. Well, in this Tahitian shape, every time they switch it, I just feel that Tave is getting isolated with Cooper, and that can't be too bad a scenario for Australia.
Great work, Zeballos there, very strong on his feet.
Pukoki up against Giovanali, and shot not on target. Nice touch off Cooper, no. Campbell Kirkwar on the spot to make the right calls.
What would nil all do, Gordon? Australia would finish top?
They would finish top, yes, and that would mean semi-final presumably with New Zealand or the Solomon Islands, and leave Tahiti up against Malaysia, assuming of course Malaysia defeat the Solomons. There's so much action to come, and there's so many permutations that going through it all here is going to be an exercise in mathematics that is best left for another time. But suffice to say, the semi-final series is going to be an absolutely tremendous one.
Yes, we still face that prospect that on Saturday night we could have an all-Oceania final and an all-Asian final, which in itself would be pretty good, but any of the configurations are interesting, and I like the thought of Malaysia up against this Tahitian side as well.
Yes, interesting prospect, and also the fortunes of New Zealand will be of some compelling viewing, because we were taken to rare heights of delight after they defeated the Solomons for the first time in their history, and they were brought back down to earth with a thump after taking a 7-1 beating off Malaysia. And tonight they've got it all to do, and there is some talk, of course, of Malaysia struggling to put together a group after the suspension of Shamsul Zamri and Abu Hassan, two key players for them. And New Zealand are going to have to get through somehow against New Caledonia, a team that is known for its spoiling tactics and its seemingly endless enthusiasm.
And the best thing New Zealand can do is go out and win well, and then those other things facing Solomons and Malaysia won't come into play so much.
Tino with a chance. Oh, and it's off the line by Chris Zeballos. Pukoki trying to work away past Wade Giovanali. Giovanali hits the floor with a thud, and there's a chance for an interchange to take place. But let's have another look at that piece of play. Yeah, there's no doubt about foul on Giovanali there. There'll be no complaints.
We've talked a lot about maintaining your discipline, throughout the tournament, and 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes left on the clock. Tahiti now at 4 fouls, so one more is all they can afford to concede in this half.
Here's Cooper. Fired it straight into the knees of Tino. Back with Sito. Zeballos running some lines in and across the D. Wade Giovanali now looking to get the ball from Zeballos. It's gone short to Sito. Cooper. Good movement in front of Sito. He has a shot straight into the hands of the keeper. It hasn't gone out though. Here's the throw on the counter attack, and chance for the new man, Tutavai. Just out of reach, no more than a foot or so.
Yep, it just needed a touch, and Constantinu was in trouble.
Zeballos. Constantinu watches on from the other end of the court. Here's Zeballos taking on the Tahitian skipper. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go before half-time. Australia 0, Tahiti 0. Tino on a run of his own. Cooper tracking him. Good save by Constantinu. Well, there's been a yellow card produced for Adam Cooper. And the referee signalling that he felt there was a hand and a push. Let's take a look. Oh, well, perhaps the way that's been interpreted is that Cooper's right hand grabbed the forearm, but it was very light. I think Tahiti might well consider themselves lucky. Adam Cooper shakes his head. He doesn't agree.
Well, very interesting, and panning out, I guess, the way a lot of us thought it would. Tahiti very happy to sit deep. As we look at Tapu Hunter now with his tactics board, but they've managed to frustrate the Australians for 16 minutes, and really there's been no way through. There's been a couple of shots, some blocks, but Australia will have to pull something out of the bag to break this defence down. And Tahiti have attacked quite well at times, but again, you know, that counter-attack will be the key. They're not going to get many chances, and they're going to have to take them, because Australia are just going to have the ball for most of this game. And we can see we've got to the 16-minute mark very quickly. The ball hasn't been out of play that long, so it's going to be a quick game, this one. Yeah, intriguing stuff, especially for the purists, as we look now at Australia at the end of their timeout.
Well, we haven't seen Dean Lockhart yet for Australia. Do you think Stephen Knight's taking the opportunity to rest certain players?
Always hard to tell with Knight. He's definitely his own man. I was trying to work out why we didn't see Alkaya and Fulton till late, and Muzumeki, and why Sito had 36 minutes despite having quite a frustrating day yesterday. But it's one of those things I like about Stephen Knight. He's a man of mystery.
Antoine Tave set up for Tino. Well, that actually, on reflection from Tufa's free kick, that might have been better going to the middle player there. Just felt that they...
Here's Lockhart now, Gordon. Speak of the devil. And Fogarty as well, the live wire. 4 goals yesterday, and you wouldn't bet against him being the man to break the deadlock here with his great movement.
Well, he's got 3 minutes 45 seconds to produce something inspirational. Lockhart, solid as ever. Dean Lockhart very rarely gives the ball away. But Fogarty is a real star to watch, a very enjoyable player when he's in the mood.
And nice of Knight to give Sito a bit of a break. See, he's off court for perhaps the rest of this half.
Tave got the touch. It looked as though it was destined for Tino. Australia won't be too flustered.
No, the cards rest with them, don't they, with a draw being enough for them to finish top of the group. Although, having said that, they won't be wanting to draw with an Oceania team.
Touch by Fogarty. Dangerous on his left foot in these situations. Well read.
Great tackle.
Alexis Tufa. Chance. Farahia. Oh, and he's missed it. Not even on target.
They won't get many better ones than that. And once again, though, the keeper just making himself big. Farahia had a number of chances yesterday. He could have had 4, and he didn't strike it well.
That would have been a sensation. Sadly for the French Polynesians, that's going to remain a case of what might have been.
Yeah. Daniel Fulton, number 3, back in for Australia.
Tufa. Tino. Tave. Tino again. Rahia is trying to make himself available on the other side of the court. He played Tave instead. Tahiti have done well here.
Yep. Getting plenty of support from that small Tahitian crowd too, Gordon.
Shot from Tave is a tame one. That's always dangerous watching Fogarty dash down that left from a Constantino throw.
He's like lightning, Fogarty. 2 of those 4 goals yesterday, just the result of his fantastic speed and anticipation.
Yeah, he's a deadly finisher as well. We've got a real treat. Courtesy of Fogarty. Adam Cooper just sliding it past the goal frame. 1 minute 40 to go before the break. Kawera tries to turn Cooper and Lockhart. Well, Stephen Knight is starting to be heard just below us. We haven't experienced that during this series. Perhaps he is relishing the challenge in front of his team today and the tactical clash with coach Heitapu Hunter. Oh, nice stuff from Fogarty, and it hits the face of the crossbar.
And a great strike from Fogarty. Yeah, Knight, a real student of the game, and he'll be relishing the opportunity to come up against somebody that's put so much thought into how his team's going to set up as Heitapu Hunter, and he's really earning his I don't know if he gets paid, but if he is, he's earned his pay today. Just trying to counter this terrific defensive effort from Tahiti.
So we're into the final 45 seconds of the first half. Australia 0, Futsaroos and Tahiti 0. A draw would still give Australia top spot in the group and arguably the easier of the semi-final draw. As we see Fogarty go again, and saved by the foot of the goalkeeper, Tavari Kaiha, who's normally an outfield player. Remember, Tahiti don't have two fit goalkeepers. Oh, chance, good save, it was Musameki. And a finger injury to Kaiha. They can ill afford to lose him. In fact, Paul, what would be the alternative? Jacob Tutavai would have to go in goal, and he would be Tahiti's fourth choice keeper.
No, it would be Patrick Jacome, OFC Technical Director and former Tahitian goalkeeper, I think, who's down there doing the commentary back to Tahiti. I think they could find a way perhaps to slip him on the list, and tell you what, if they get Patrick in there, they're not going to concede too many.
No, he's a giant figure of a man. Of course, had a professional football career in League A with Valenciennes, and was a national team goalkeeper for Tahiti, as well as a technical director at Federation Tahitian Football. So Kaiha is fit to continue. 13 seconds left in the first half. Kawera tries to take on Musameki. Fulton, Lockhart, Fogarty. What's he got in his locker in the dying moments? Half time, I think. Hamilkirk War, the centre of attention. He's got a language barrier to contend with there. He doesn't speak French. Half time. And an interesting scoreline to greet us. Australia 0, Tahiti 0. Fascinating stuff. The closest Australia have got to scoring was when Daniel Fogarty struck the face of the crossbar, but this is going according to plan for Heitapu Hunter. Fogarty, the fulcrum for this opportunity. Hit the base of the post. Symington was on hand, but he was so close to the point of the ricochet, he barely had a chance to move for it. And then Adam Cooper rifling this free kick high over the top. How that never took a deflection, I don't know. But another effort, forcing a save out of Kaiha from Symington.
Kaiha's done well, Gordon.
Certainly has.
Here he is again in action with Wade Giovanelli at the back post.
Just before Sito touched that, Giovanelli took a step in and then out. Very interesting, maybe trying to throw the goalkeeper off.
Yeah, nice little feint.
Just trying to steal that extra piece of space, and Tino having his effort cleared off the line by Zeballos. Sito working onto his left foot. And then this opportunity, came, and Tutavai not the greatest. Now, I felt the 11 Tave should have had that, but it was always the case they were going to use him for a foil, but he might well have stolen in there to have a crack. It might have been worthwhile, but in any case, it remained goalless. And then this effort, forced to save with the sole of the foot from Tavati Kaiha.
Fogarty, the danger man, isn't he?
Done well. Lockhart shot. Look at that. Hit Musameki in the back. And Kaiha had a finger injury. There's a unique... Hello. Yes, the supporters here getting into the spirit of the OFC Futsal Championship, and some Futsal Roo supporters. Look at that. So, confirmation of the halftime score. Australia 0, Tahiti 0. Come back and join us for the second half in just a few moments' time. Until then, goodbye. Welcome back, everybody. The coaches Stephen Knight of Australia and Heitapu Hunter of Tahiti have had 6 or 7 minutes to reflect on a first half and impart their views to their players. And we await to see what transpires in a second half with Australia and Tahiti locked at 0-0. Top spot in the group and a favourable semi-final is up for grabs. It's currently sitting in Australia's favour. They only need a draw to advance in top spot as we capture a shot of the Futsal Whites. Mickey Malibuk, the man giving you the wave there, folks. Tahiti, of course, have had to cope without either of their two goalkeepers. Teva Duro has an injured ankle and Apira Tetoira has had his hand stitched after an injury that he suffered on match day 1. And the outfield player Tevari Kaiha has been drafted into the French-Polynesian glove man. And so far so good for him, so far so good for coach Heitapu Hunter. And all it would take is a goal on the counter for the Tahitians, and suddenly we've got a potential upset on our hands. Not that the Australians will feel too flustered at the moment. They went through a similar match condition with Vanuatu yesterday. They led 2-1 and eventually pulled clear of the Louis Dominique coach side, winning the match 6-1. Other results from yesterday: Solomon Islands 7, New Caledonia 4, Tahiti 2, New Zealand Invitational 0, Australia 6, Vanuatu 1, and Malaysia 7, New Zealand 1. There was a game here earlier, in case you missed it. It was Vanuatu against the New Zealand Invitational side. They managed to dispose of the Simon Mead outfit by 7-4, which means that in their group, Vanuatu have finished 3rd, New Zealand Select have finished 4th, and they will be involved in the 7th place playoff, presumably with New Caledonia, who are in action tonight at 6 p.m. That game available to you through the OFC YouTube channel and our good friends and colleagues at Summit Sports, free sports for Kiwis. As we see New Caledonia arrive at the stadium. And here come their francophone cousins, Tahiti. It's Martana Bea to the left of your picture. He's the skipper. Alexis Tufa and Usieri Pukoki taking a refreshment. There's a small contingent of Tahitian supporters who have made the 5-hour trip across the international date line to give their team support. And of course, this match is also going back to Tahiti Live, the commentary in French for you, courtesy of Olivier Hook and Patrick Jacquemet. Summit Sports have also come on board to provide a platform for the OFC Futsal Invitational Championships. Championships that kicked off earlier this week. Live coverage of New Zealand against New Caledonia scheduled for 6 o'clock, and then the finals will be played as a full replay on Sunday the 28th of July at 1 p.m. and that will also include the highlights of the 3rd-4th playoff, and then another replay at 10:30 p.m. also on Sunday. You can check out the full schedule of games for the OFC Futsal Championship at the Confederation website. That's www.oceaniafootball.com. We're only moments away from a restart here. And Paul, Australia more than capable of opening up this Tahitian backline.
Possibly, Gordon. They need to do a bit more. You know, in the first half, really, only Fogarty looked like he had the capability in a 1v1 to create something. I think they need a bit more movement from the fixer, the guy at the back, Usually Sito, looks like Lockhart will do that. But Tahiti very disciplined, marking individually quite deep, following the runner. So to open them up, they'll need to work harder, Australia, in my opinion anyway.
Kaiha with the clearance, and Jacob Tutabai couldn't really do much about that. Lockhart, Fogarty, Musameki is on for Australia.
Just with Lockhart there, just sitting after he's played the pass. Like to see him getting forward, just to break up the Tahitians.
Fogarty's rolled that straight into Tave. Oh, and this is a chance. Oh, Maihuri's hit it wide. Well, that was a real chance for Tahiti.
Yeah, they've had a couple of good chances on the break, Gordon, and they're just not clinical enough. They may pay the price for that.
Look, he was in tons of space, and he's gone with the right foot when the left might have been the better choice. Just maybe a technical weakness in Michel Maihuri's repertoire. Lockhart, Fulton, Musameki, Fogarty looking for movement ahead of him. Now with Fogarty again. Lockhart. Oh, and Mutt, well.
Bear does a great job again for the Tahitians. He's a great organiser and leader.
Good save. Dean Lockhart struck that with plenty of venom. And the ball's up into the rafters, and we will have a restart at the point of contact at court level. And we're underway again with Marina Musameki. Fogarty trying to work himself into space. Two players high up court for Australia. Lockhart, well, he wasn't too sure what he was doing there, Lockhart. I think he wanted to play a wall pass with Musameki perhaps, and got caught in the mind of whether to maybe have a shot instead. And in the end it was neither. Motetino. No way past Fulton, but he's kept the ball. Motetino, good strength. Well, this is going to be interesting. Look at Fogarty just teasing and taunting Michel Maihuri. Tahiti can break though. Fogarty again having a go at Kavera. Cutting back inside. Now Fogarty has it again. Musameki. Fulton thought about a shot, checked again. Musameki, Lockhart. Australia patiently probing for an opening. Cut out by Kavera. Tino breaking down the left. Oh, good step over, and the shot wasn't too bad, but it's off target. This is how Tahiti are going to play this Australian side. Very much on the counter-attack, looking for a golden opportunity to take the lead. Oh, and a complete miscue by Wade Giovanali. There's Kavera on the break. One touch and rolled in. That's a nice step over from Tino, but again, in these advanced positions, rare as they are for the Tahitians, they are snatching at the opportunities. Pukoki. And the ball's out. Chris Sebalos will restart for the Futsal Roos. Cooper. Sito back in the action. The green and gold. Adam Cooper. Oh, and Giovanali was looking for a 1-2, but the wall pass was hit pretty firmly. Tufa. Koki glancing header through to Constantino. 4 minutes into the second half. Australia 0, Tahiti 0. Interesting ball. It's picked up by Carvera. Tufa. Torahia. Checks out. Not an accurate pass from Tufa. Torahia has picked it up. Koki. He's going to need another option. He's never going to beat Zeblos with pace. Oh, perhaps he was. He's looking for a foul. He's not going to get it. Giovanali on the counter. Cooper. Sito. Giovanali showing, wanting a wall pass, showing again. Zeballos misses him out, looks for Cooper, takes a deflection off Tufa.
And Tahiti just carrying on from the first half, Gordon. Once again, well organised. Sito just maintaining that position centre court. Not really offering much work by getting forward.
Cooper's shot blocked by Michel Maihuri and Usieri Pukoki. It's back with Sito. We start again.
3 on this side, 1 on the other. Looking for Giovanali.
Oh, chance for Giovanali. He got free.
That'll be what Stephen Knight's been looking for too. Those 3 to link up like that with Giovanali getting into the centre, but he just slipped. But all it'll take is 1 goal, and I'd say it'd be enough.
Giovanali did well to work himself into the space, but he was always struggling to get a hold of the pass from Cooper.
Just thinking about those opportunities Tahiti have had as well, Gordon. 1 or 2 in the first half and 1 already in this half.
Well, the best of them so far for me was the Farahia.
Yes, that's right.
He couldn't even get it on target, and that really was a good opportunity. I thought Farahia may well have opted to try and lob Constantino because he had come out, and Farahia is a good enough technician to pull that sort of a finish off, but it comes down to temperament and composure in those sorts of areas.
Yes, he was in a similar situation in 2011 in the final against Solomon Islands, and they were 3-1 up at the time, and he made it 4-1, and but he couldn't apply the same sort of finesse.
Chance, Giovanali tried to go through. Oh, it's an own goal.
Baya.
An own goal, Matana Baya.
Relief for Australia, and yeah, a bit of misfortune for Tahiti, but Australia going ahead with 13 left on the clock.
Here's Giovanali. Oh, look at that. Well, it was a piece of luck. Tevari Kaiha saved it, but the ricochet hit Matana Baya, and it has ended up in the back of Tahiti's net. So Australia 1-0 up.
And this is a good chance to see what Coach Hitapu Hunter, how he approaches this next phase of the game. I'm picking he'll just stick with that deep defence and rely on getting forward, creating maybe 1 or 2 opportunities, but they will have to take them if they do arrive. So
tragedy for Tahiti and that man there, Matana Baya, but for Australia, it's just what the doctor ordered against a team that has committed to a counter-attack and a defensive shape that's taken some beating. Stephen Knight deep in Congress with players on his bench. looks as though Francois Cucurillo is having a word to the players. There's always something going on off the ball in futsal. Little fouls as players run by each other, and it's Adam Cooper who's getting a talking to. Sito coming over to investigate. Two to line. Antoine Tave goes aerially. Easy one for Sito. It's a lockdown. Brings it forward a couple of yards. Cooper overlapping on the left. Giovanali offloads to Cooper. Australia 1-0 up. Played wide on the right to Zevalos, tries to go through the legs of Tufa, nothing happening there. And that's a foul. That's a stupid foul to concede, Alexis Tufa. Bit of frustration, I think. He didn't take the attempted nutmeg too well, Alexis Tufa, and he chose to lash out. Good shot from Sito, saved by the goalie. Here we have a look at the Sito shot. The goalkeeper, well, yeah, he just didn't get near catching it and just deflected it wide with the open palms of both hands.
Australia will be pretty happy at this stage. 11:53 on the clock, 1-0 up. They only need a draw to finish top, and a bit of pressure off with that. Yes, fortunate goal, but after the pressure they've put on, yeah, they couldn't be denied.
Well, no team is happy. Well, that's another foul. No team is satisfied with the defeat, but thus far it's self-inflicted. No Australian has yet scored. There's plenty of time for that to happen, though.
And,
minutes, 25.
And the main thing, Gordon, for Tahiti is to...
Oh, yes, that's a good goal.
Yeah, that's great movement
That's
from
a
Cooper.
great goal. Adam Cooper just drifted in behind Martana Bea, who didn't go with him. And Cooper has applied a superb finish from a rocket shot from Sito. Keep your eyes on Cooper on the left. Went through unmarked, and all he had to do was just open the face of the right foot and hit the back of the net. So, 2-0 Australia.
Forlorn looking Bea, but yeah, as I was saying, the main thing for Tahiti is to qualify for the semi-finals, and tomorrow will be another day. 2-0 are still in it, but there's plenty more left to come in this OFC Futsal Invitational from the men from French Polynesia. And if it's indeed Malaysia that they face tomorrow, it'll be another intriguing battle, because they'll be setting up in the same sort of a way, and Malaysia will really have their work cut out for them.
Symington back into play for the Futsal Roos. Kaya also. Cooper. Sito. Tino. Cooper checks onto the right foot, has a shot, retrieves it. Space opening up for Cooper on the right. Here he is again, the goal scorer of Symington, fancying a go. And wants another shot. He gets a corner for his labours.
Just getting things into perspective, Solomon Islands, who went to the World Cup last year, played Australia twice. In 2012, they lost 8-0 and 11-3. So, 2-0, 3-0, those sorts of scores are quite encouraging for the Oceania sides. And a good starting point for Tahiti.
Yes, look, the benefits of this tournament are going to be felt for a long time after this event is finished. I think in Oceania, teams that have had the opportunity to take on Australia and Malaysia will have learned a lot.
Yeah, and talking to Louis Dominic from Vanuatu just after the last game, just about that idea of teams being able to organise their own matches, their own test series.
Chance, good block by Opkaya. Eddie Opkaya, that was a lovely piece of defending. Kavera had it on his preferred foot, and Eddie Opkaya comes to the rescue of the Futsal Roos.
Yes, having the OFC champs every couple of years is great, but in the meantime, the countries need to be active. Tahiti and New Zealand had a 3-match series in April. New Zealand have had 6 games in the last 6 months against Australia. And, Vanuatu perhaps and New Caledonia could team up, and Solomon Islands isn't too far away from Vanuatu. These are the sorts of things that need to happen on a regular basis for teams to continue this improvement. Otherwise, if you wait another 2 years, it's very much back to square one, Gordon, and it's great to get out and train every day, but there's no substitute for match experience. And I guess I'm not telling anyone anything they don't already know, but it'd be great to see more fixtures between the countries of Oceania in futsal.
Let's touch on the benefits of the participation of Malaysia and Australia. What will they glean from the experience of going up against OFC teams?
I guess seeing a different style. I mean, the physical style of Vanuatu yesterday, the way they interrupted Australia's rhythm. In the end, it took 30-odd minutes for Australia to really dominate. And again, for them, it's all about experience. In the first instance, we were looking to include the Asian sides for the benefit of the Oceania sides to raise the technical level, but I'm sure both Malaysia and particularly tonight when Malaysia play Solomon Islands, for them it'll be a great honour to play against a side that's been to a World Cup.
Oh, given away to Fulton. That's Usieri Bukoki. Now a chance for Antoine Tave to break. Oh, taken out by Opkaya. That's going to be a card. That's a nasty one for Tave, landing on the elbow.
Yes, so even though Solomon Islands may not be at the top of their game just right now, for Malaysia, I think a great honour to play against the side that's got the experience of Solomon Islands, and they'll be really looking forward to them tonight. So I'm sure their federations will think that participating in this is more than worthwhile, and I think in the future we'll see more of this type of event and perhaps extend the invitation to other Asian sides.
Yes, it's one of the advantages of futsal when you're shifting around a squad only of 12 players. Everything financially is more doable. You can dare to dream big. Here's Symington. Koki. Symington snatches up the leftovers. It's with the Futsal Roos. Kai's made a run down into the right channel. Symington now checking out of that area. Fulton. Sito, back to Fulton. Symington here on the left. There's a shot, not far away. Sito just checking onto that left foot and letting rip. It's not one that tested the keeper. Well, far less bruising afternoon's work for Tobias Sito. Looked as though he's enjoyed his game today a lot more than he did yesterday. Symington checks his options, finds his skipper, takes the ball back into his possession. Alkaya getting more game time today, Eddie Alkaya.
Yes.
Symington. Oh, Alkaya might have been a bit unlucky there.
Yeah, Alkaya, one of the new players that's come in as Stephen Knight tries to build a side for the AFC Futsal Championship later in the year. He's got 4 or 5 of the guys that went to the World Cup, as we've talked about before, but Alkaya and some other new players have come in. Adam Cooper in particular, I think, will be one that will feature again. Wouldn't surprise me to find out that Wade Giovanelli has impressed his coach. Daniel Fulton has had a couple of chances with Australia. Hasn't seen a lot of court time in the last couple of days, but a strong player that New Zealand audiences are quite familiar with from his time with Maccabi in the National League and Australia last year in the Trans-Tasman Cup.
Australia content to just stroke the ball around the Tahitian section of the court. There's a crunching challenge on Fulton from Motetino. It's picked up by referee Campbell Kirk-War. And that's a nasty one right on the heel. I was speaking to referee Campbell Kirk-War yesterday, who's also a ASB Premiership football referee, and asked him to describe for me just how different he found the transition between officiating futsal and football. And he said to me, look, in football you can go a long time without actually having to make too many decisions. He said in futsal, by contrast, it was every 3 or 4 seconds. And he said that is a big difference between the indoor form of the outdoor game. And he said you had to keep very much on your toes all throughout a futsal encounter. He said it's 40 of the most intense minutes for any match official.
Yeah, interesting thoughts from Campbell. I mean, in many ways as a player it's similar. We often talk about the number of touches a player has in comparison to football. Some studies have said that it's 6 times more touches per game. Others say it's 12. But whatever, we know as a player, just like a referee, you have to be fully focused, and players get a break. They usually play for 3 or 4 minutes, maybe a bit longer when you've got a guy like Sito, but referees don't get that luxury. So, you know, people can be very critical of referees sometimes, but it's a very tough job out there. 40 minutes without a let up.
Back with the action, it's Reno Musumeki. The higher. Sito, Fulton just occupying space in front of his skipper. Now the pivot. Sito might fancy this. Oh, it's not a bad effort from the Australian skipper. Just got onto the left foot, which he does enjoy doing. He beat Michelle Maihuri all ends up, and the shot couldn't beat Tavaidi Kaiha.
Kaiha's done really well, I think, Gordon, for a guy who's an outfield player that's been converted for the day. He's the first goal he conceded was a bit unlucky in a way. It was a deflection, wasn't it? Where he parried the ball and Bayer put it into his own net, and then there wasn't much he could do to stop Cooper's run to the back post. But all up, he's done fairly well. Just coming back to that Australian side too, you know, they looking to build towards their Asian Futsal Championship campaign later in the year, and I think a couple of the others that have come in, Symington's I believe a new player. He's seen a bit of court time. He started the last couple of games, And I think Dean Lockhart as well. I'm not sure how old Lockhart is, but he's worked quite well when Sito's not been on the court, and he's worked well when he's been on as well, the two of them at the back. And maybe he's going to feature in the plans, but I'm going to be interested to see who's coming back from the World Cup. There's been a few guys missing from the campaign last year. Not sure if they've retired or unavailable, or whether he's sort of clearing out the cupboard a little bit. But one thing's for sure is in Daniel Fogarty, he's got a terrific player who I'm sure will feature later in the year. Just with that ability in the one-on-ones. He got 4 goals yesterday, and in the first half today, he certainly looked the man most likely. And he hasn't needed him in the second half, as we see Lockhart back on court. But yeah, I think Fogarty will play a big part in how this tournament pans out over the next couple of days.
Matanabea. Good defence from Australia.
Nice by Fulton.
Wanted to look as though they were starting to push forward a bit more.
Well, this lineup now tells me Knight's pretty happy with the 2-0. Muzumeki, Lockhart, Fulton, Alpkaya. Just looking to keep the ball now for the next 3 or 4 minutes and wind down the clock. Good afternoon's work for Australia, I think. At half-time, I wasn't sure that they'll be able to break this Tahitian side down, but they've done enough. But plenty of positives for Tahiti too, but they'll be disappointed that they didn't take their chances. This man on the ball now had a great one in the first half, and in the end, that's the difference at this level that Tahiti are aspiring to. You can defend and defend, but you need to be able to counter-attack quickly and take advantage of your opportunities.
Yes, quite. They've got 3 minutes and 14 seconds and counting down to go. It's Australia 2, Tahiti 0, and Australia looking good for top spot, and 9 points from a possible 9 for them. Tahiti about to perhaps suffer their first defeat of this OFC Futsal Championship Invitational for 2013.
And indeed their first defeat of 2013 after their 3-0 series win over New Zealand.
Taiha's long ball. It's a shot from Tino. Good shot. First real save that Constantino's had to make, and it was a good one. Came out of nothing.
It was a stinging shot, wasn't it?
So difficult for a goalkeeper who's playing in a side that is dominating so much to pull a quality save out of the bag like that. Tahiti coming to life, the lack of time, the motivating factor perhaps, and their final chance to really try and force something in this fixture. There's a shot from Tino. It was a good one and took a deflection off Dan Fulton. Constantino did have his body behind it. There were no hands involved, I believe, which is perhaps testimony to the pace with which the ball was struck.
I wouldn't mind betting this is one of the shorter games. The ball's been in play a lot, Gordon, with all the possession that Australia have had, and only a minute 36 now left on the clock. With the stop clock, of course, some games run longer than others.
Tino with a shot, away by Lockhart. The keeper fancies it, and off target. Alpkaya. Jacob Tutavai was on hand to whip the ball off the foot of Alpkaya. 1 minute 22 seconds left by our clock. Fulton tried to step beyond Kavera. Kavera. Tahiti have to get the ball forward as quickly as they can. Time running out. Kaiha's joined in. Bruno Musameki with the restart. Dean Lockhart has a quick look up at the clock. 45 seconds and counting down. Australia 2, Tahiti 0. Well, it's a real balancing act if you're going to try and defend for long periods in this game, and then making a decision at what point do you come out and attempt to try and score goals and get a result. And Tahiti have chosen the last 4 minutes or so to try and up the tempo and push higher up the court. But it's going to be all for nothing, I think. Australia might even be able to add to their tally. Here's Musameki. Lovely measured shot with the left foot. Just gave it a bit of spin. And Kaiha had to save with the feet. Tufa. Fulton. Kaya. Musameki. Lockhart. 10 seconds left. Australia 2, Tahiti 0. Tahiti going to have to get after the ball if they want to get a consolation goal. It looks as though that opportunity now has gone for them. And there is full time at Truss Arena. Australia have prevailed courtesy of goals to Adam Cooper and an own goal by Tahitian skipper Matana Bea. It's been a fascinating tactical joust between two sides who will advance to the semi-finals, with Australia taking top spot and Tahiti finishing in second. So Paul, good afternoon's work for both teams. They can take something from the experience.
Yeah, I think so. Tahiti will be disappointed they didn't finish their chances, but it's another chance for them to build on their experience. And the main thing is for both teams, of course, is that they're through this initial phase. So they'll sit back and relax tonight to find out who they're going to be playing against. But yeah, good effort from Tahiti, and again Australia just showing that little bit of experience, that bit of class. And in the end, just too good for Tahiti, for now anyway.
So a potential semi-final with Malaysia on the cards for Tahiti. And it's going to be a difficult task for Tahiti, but they've shown that they're up for it. And speaking of that subject, we can now go to Daniel Markham of OFC TV, who is speaking to Heitapu Hunter.
Well, Heitapu, it was always going to be a very hard game against a good team like Australia. How do you feel about the way your boys played?
I'm really proud of them. What they do is strong. Because to play Australia for us is a pleasure. To play them, and you know, this level, it's fantastic. We can do something against them. But we stay too much in the back. I think we respect them too much. And 2-0, that's the score. Huh?
You will now play Malaysia in the semi-final. How do you feel about playing them? They're another good team.
You know, when we arrive here, we want to play both of the team. And today we can play both of the team. Really happy. Those teams play in Asia. They have a lot of international game. As we never have in 2 years, no game, international game like that. So to play both of them, it's a pleasure. But I'm happy because my goalkeeper will come back tomorrow, and we'll be back. I think more. We're gonna attack a little bit more with the goalkeeper.
Thanks so much, and good luck for the semi-final.
No problem. Thank you.
So Hei Tapu Hunter with plenty to consider ahead of tomorrow's semi-final showdown. Let's now reflect on some of the highlights of a fascinating game. That of the second half. This chance for Michelle Maihuri was set up by Jacob Tutavai. Dean Lockhart was always struggling to get there, but just a lack of technique on the part of Michelle Maihuri. And then Giovanali and Cooper managed to prise open this wall of defenders. Giovanali just couldn't get the shot on target. And then eventually, Giovanali did play a role in the goal. It was an own goal, though. So he gets clear of his defender, manages to hit the goalkeeper, but Matanabea, who was racing back to cover, just couldn't get out of the way of it, and it went in off his knee. 1-0 to Australia. And Giovanali perhaps joking with his teammates that he might claim it. I don't think they'll be too keen to have that. But Sito then had a shot that was saved by Kaiha. Was at a good height for the stand-in goalkeeper. He forced another save much later, but this is the goal. And look at Cooper. He just kept his run going. He wasn't picked up. Two Tahitian defenders were caught ball watching, Michelle Maihuri and Matanabea, and it was an easy finish for Adam Cooper. So Daniel Markham now can speak to the Australian skipper, Toby Sito.
Well, Toby, it was another win for the boys, but your mates work very hard there by a determined Tahiti team.
Yeah, look, they were very organised. They set up well in defence and they made life difficult for us. So, you know, happy with the 3 points, and we move on to the semi-finals tomorrow.
They sat quite deep at times, particularly in that first half. How frustrating was that to try and play around and try to break through them there?
Yeah, it was tough. Look, from the limited knowledge that we had of them, watching them in the previous games, we expected them to sit deep. So we had a game plan to try and get around them. And look, they were very organised, and credit to them. So I think they're a good team.
You now play either Solomon Islands or New Zealand in the next match. Do you have any preference about who you'd like to play, and what are your thoughts going to that semi-final?
Look, I think whoever we play, it'll be a tough game. Obviously, New Zealand here at home, we're probably going to have a bit of home ground advantage, but you know, look, for us, it doesn't make a difference. We've got to prepare the same no matter who we're facing.
Thanks so much. Good luck for the semi.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
3 wins from 3 for Australia, and a happy skipper to boot. So Australia have defeated Tahiti 2-0. I'm Gordon Glenn Watson, and my colleague Paul Tui. We wish you well, and we'll see you back here on OFC TV's YouTube channel and Summit Sports for the match between New Zealand and New Caledonia, scheduled for 6 o'clock New Zealand local time. Until then, we'll bid you a fond farewell.